Today, we will talk about the 2015 American monster movie Sand, or as it is also called, Bloody Sand. The film begins with the fact that the audience is shown a great party on the beach. How young people dance. They have fun, brag, and have fun to the fullest. A guy named Mitch asks everyone to hide their phones, because no one should take it
and then post it on the internet. Well, yes, it will be a shame. Then two guys, Vance and Gilbert, bring a huge ball, it's unclear. Slime, which they allegedly found in the water. Everyone is disgusted by this, but no one really thinks about it. This is how much you need to get drunk in order not to attach importance to this. I don't know. We are shown early in the morning. Early hangover morning. Still tight. We see a girl named Kaylee with Mitch. The guy John with the girl Kenda. Ronnie and Vance sleeping in the car. Kaylee wakes up first and looks around. Peering into the distance, she sees a seagull on the beach, which is trying to take off. But she's not capable of doing that. The girl thinks that the bird is sick, but suddenly it disappears into the sand. The girl is very shocked. She tries to shout to her sleeping friends so that they don't step on the sand. But when she turns in the opposite direction, she sees her friend Marcia, who apparently tanned in the sun, and then decided to step on the sand. Her foot sank into the sand, and she couldn't move anymore. Everyone is confused and alarmed. Vance wants to save her and rushes to the rescue. Kelly tries to stop him, but he doesn't listen. He also falls on the sand, not reaching his girlfriend, which turned out to be in trouble. He also starts to get sucked in. Meanwhile, Marcia is no longer visible at all. The sand completely engulfed her body. Vance is lying on the sand and writhing in pain. He asks his girlfriend to help him. The guy tries to raise his head, but he can't. The sand pulls his skin and eyes into itself. Ronnie screams in horror and calls for him, but it's too late. He also disappears into the thick of the ominous sand. The rest of the survivors are trying to figure out what the reason is and what is happening in general. That's the morning. I don't want to be in their place after the party. The guys are trying to figure out what to do and want to call somewhere, but they realize that their phones are in the trunk of the car. Jonah tries to start the car, but the battery is completely discharged. They got stuck in the sand. Kelly walks up to the steps and stretches out her hand to the sand. We see strange white lines that stretch to the flesh. Mitch is also surprised and can't believe his eyes. A little later, another character, Gilbert, wakes up. He wakes up in a garbage bucket, the kind in which bonfires are often lit. He tries his best to get out of there, but the guys caught on in time and asked him not to move in any case, explaining this by the death of their comrades. Then, they try to figure out the relationship between themselves, as it usually happens when people are at the peak of emotions, and are unable to go anywhere. Time passes, but no one comes to help. Kaylee finds a sunscreen and throws it to those sitting in the car. Gilbert is still in a barrel, completely panicked. Kelly begins to discuss what happened again and put forward theories as to how it happened. They look around again and realize that everyone who was at the party yesterday is also absorbed in the depths of the sand. And then Kelly remembers that the guys pulled the slimy lump out of the water yesterday because he sees pieces of it in the distance. She is sure that it was an egg from which someone managed to hatch overnight. It is likely that this creature has settled in the sand, this is its habitat. And it feeds on people, just like regular food. She assumes that this something hatched only at night, and therefore is still very small in size. Kelly has a brilliant plan brewing. She wants to check how big this creature living in the sand is. She takes the sausages and starts throwing them around. Gilbert, who, I remind you, is still in the barrel, is watching an unpleasant picture of another bird being sucked into the sand. Now he finally understands that the stories of his friends are the bitter truth. Everyone watches as Kelly throws sausages on the beach. Michi has a terrible suspicion that this is the only food they have left. The girl wasn't going to stop. And then they observe a miracle. The last thrown sausage remained on the surface. Everyone rejoices and hopes that they have found salvation. The only thing is that the place where it is already safe is too far away. They don't know how to get there. Jonah turns on the savvy. Well, it's about time. He climbs to the back of the car and gets up. Understands two surfboards, which, apparently, someone left yesterday. He's trying to make a path out of them, and so get to a safe place. He manages to step in there and take a few steps. Then he gets to a shop nearby. He gets one foot on it, but at that moment the board starts moving. He falls, leans his hands on the bench, and stretches over the ominous sand. Strange tentacles of sand are creeping up to his stomach. He manages to break free and climb onto the bench, but now his stomach is covered in wounds and scratches. There, Jonah finds a bag of food. He examines what's inside and accidentally drops a banana on the ground. It doesn't disappear. The guy notices that nothing happens at the place where there was a fire until recently. Remember that in the beginning they all danced by the fire. So, in that place, the sand creature is inactive. He jumps to that spot, but still feels terrible. His stomach continues to bleed, and then writhes in pain. Friends are asking him to come back. He throws the water he found in his bag to his friends, and lies down on the bench. Meanwhile, the sand monster, what else to call it, decided to get to the car. The guys see how strange tentacles push the wheels of the car and try to move it. The guys understand that the situation is heating up, and they don't have much time. The girl Kanda and Ronnie are trying to open the trunk of the car to get the phones. In general, it's strange how teenagers have been able to last so long without them. Ronnie begins to say goodbye to Kanda, asking her to deliver a message to her mother if she does not return. As a result, the girl climbs onto the trunk and still opens it with the help of her friends. She stands triumphantly on the tip of the bumper. At this moment, another car is approaching the guys. The driver starts honking at the guys from afar, which greatly scares Kanda standing on the bumper. Her foot slips and ends up in the sand. She writhes and screams in pain. The rest are trying to attract the attention of the one who came by car. It turned out to be the Coast Guard. The man thinks that the guys are stoned and does not take them seriously. To be honest, I don't see any reason to blame him for this. Kaylee shouts at him not to get out of the car, but he gets out. Surprisingly, he walks freely on the sand. It is clear that his officer's boots do not give in to the monster. The officer looks at Jonah, who is writhing in pain on the bench. He ignores the guy's requests for help and steps on. The man threatens his guys. Pepper spray them? He wants them to approach him, but they naturally refuse. Pulling his impressive weapon out of its holster, he drops the keys to the ground. But now you've stumbled, man. Trying to pick up the keys, he realizes that the guys are still sane and did not lie. Now he's immobilized. Kelly advises him to use his spray can against the tentacles. Have you noticed, by the way, how many clever ideas this girl gives out? It really works. But only a man loses part of his arm. Due to the shock of a serious loss, he falls to the ground. Nothing good happens from this. Now the sword has realized that shoes are a real topic, and is going to get to the guard's car in flip-flops, and with the help of a towel. Comrades throw towels to him from the car. Trying to catch him, the sword stumbles and falls into the sand. The creature devours him bloodthirstily. Kelly breaks down and jumps off the steps onto the car. She's doing great. And of course, at this moment, he and Kanda are fighting over the unresolved problem of who slept with whom that night. It's about time, isn't it? Finally, they decide to help Ronnie get his hand out of the sand. John, who has been lying on the bench all this time, confesses to Kelly that he loves her. The girls come up with a plan to make a bridge out of the destroyed stairs to pick up the others and get to the officer's car. They are starting to move and are doing quite well. The three of them get to John, who is still in a very bad condition. Ronnie was the last one to get there, but because of her injured arm, she couldn't grab properly and fell down. The creature swallows Ronnie into the depths of the sand. Kanda wraps her legs in a towel and a bag and breaks off running to the car. She successfully climbs onto the hood, having managed not to get injured. Gilbert is very happy about this event, and, apparently, in vain. Because of his movements, the monster becomes interested in him and breaks through the barrel. At first, it devours him from below, but then several already huge tentacles climb out of the barrel and literally suck Gilbert down. The same tentacles appear near the car and begin to shake it. Kanda falls on the hood. Little by little, the night comes. Kanda is lying on the car, and the others are still on the bench. Kanda waits for the monster to calm down and finds a life-saving inflatable fruit in the car. With his help, she decides to save the guys. Now Kanda and Jonah are finally in the car. But before Kaylee climbs up, huge tentacles appear in front of her eyes. It is clear that the baby has grown up specifically. The girl only has time to jump on the roof of the car. She finds a canister of fuel there and sets the monster on fire with it. Kelly quickly gets into the car. And they sit in silence and soon realize that Jonah is dead. The girls hug and mourn their lost friends. Tired and scared, they fall asleep in the car. The next morning, they wake up to a man knocking on their window. Kenda and Kaylee realize that this monster has disappeared, and they can safely step on the ground. They walk along the beach in an embrace, not believing what happened. In the final shot, we see a huge monster floating underwater near the Santa Monica Pier. That's it. Personally, this film captivated me with its involvement. It was as if I, too, was fleeing from a monster in the sand, as if I had become an American teenager. Of course, this is far from the best monster movie, but there is something in it. Thank you for watching. Please like, write your impressions, and stay with us. See you soon.